click on the link from uh, some of the things that are is kind of like expected of us while we are doing the program. As a lot of us already know, um, every every week there is some content that you are giving. As at this time, the content is on GitHub, but we are working around the clock to move you guys to the new platform because there's a platform that is being prepared for you guys where everything is super organized. It's not like GitHub. It will be very user friendly, and then you just have to get on. You have to get on the system. Please let me know if you can all hear me. Maybe a raising of hand.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can hear you, but your voice is echoing.
We can hear you, sir. Yes, sir, we can hear you.
You need to end the Google Meet call. So as fast as you can, just join and then you could continue over Zoom, all right? So awesome. So we are just on Zoom now. The other call, I've left it. Okay, Joy is here. Awesome. Okay, Joshua, your hands are raised. Does it mean you can hear me or you have a question?
No, I can actually hear you. Just
Okay.
having some little issue with network.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Um, so we expect that at the end of every week, you meet up some reading and some practice. Why is it important that you actually meet up with these specified readings and the practice that we have actually arranged for it? Is because at some point we are going to be pairing you with others. And if you're actually not in the same, you've not gotten the same practice like that person you appeared with, or you've not gone through the content that that participant has gone through, then you're going to have challenges. You're going to have problems with that person, all right? So we expect that you try to put in the work because um, there's no kidding here. We just want you to have hands-on experience. We don't want you to do a lot of reading here and there. If that's the case, then we are just giving you links to read. But we want you to practice. We are training you to be world class and not just to have head knowledge or theoretical knowledge about what software development is. And so we want you to practice everything that we'll be giving you, because we if you look at the content so far so good, we discovered that there's a part called practice sessions where we've actually taken some time to show you some code. We expect that you take out the time to type out the code. Like the message I dropped a couple of days back, I think sometimes last week, you might need to dedicate at least 1 hour to it. If you dedicate 1 hour to it, at least now that you're beginning, you might be, I know you will need more time as you progress or as you proceed in the program. But if you're able to give 1 hour to it now so that it sinks in as you proceed, you become better, you become, you have more familiarity with everything that you need to do. And I think overall everything will be fine. So some of the things that you already have now is a lot of us or all of us here have email addresses. I asked the first person who joined us on call, which is John, if he had already completed his setup. Now for that setup, you need something like, sorry, I'm reading from a little note here. You need something like VS Code. For all of us to be on the same page and to be uniform, I would recommend that VS Code is our code editor or our code editor for throughout the training or throughout this program. So um, you probably might be used to something like Notepad++, or maybe to Atom, or to I don't know, some other code editors out there. But for this program's sake, just try and install VS Code. I'm going to actually do a little demo on how you would do that. And then another thing you would need is you need to install Git and Git Bash. Um, I'll just show us some of the ways to actually do that. You also need to install Zoom, which a lot of us just did to be here. Another application you need is Slack. So this list that I'm reading from, I'm going to drop it on our chat immediately after this so that you run through the lists and install them. And then if you have any issues, you look at the demo that I'm going to record, because it's actually being recorded right now. You look at that demo, and then when you've actually looked at the demo, you will know exactly what you should do. Then I believe that a lot of us already have web browsers, and a lot of us already have Google Meet and GitHub accounts. So basically, these are the things you need. Did I mention Slack, that you also need Slack? So when the time comes, we will introduce you to Slack, because in the real working setting, which we are trying to actually get you comfortable with, you would need Slack for a lot of company communications. And I think most tech companies use either Slack or Microsoft Meet for their meetings. So we just want you to get comfortable with all of these tools while you are learning, so that the experience is when you actually start in a company or start working with these skills somewhere, the experience is not far from what you've had here. In fact, it will be a very smooth transition between learning here and working in a company. All right. So, like I said, every week, most of the lessons that you are going to be having going forward from this week will come with assignments, quizzes. You are expected to complete these assignments and these quizzes for now, because these quizzes are actually being passed to us through GitHub. We might not have the appropriate way to measure how many times you attempt a quiz or an assignment. But once you are transferred to the new system, which is almost complete, it's actually going to be timed. The system times or measures how many times you attempt an assignment, a quiz, and I think you only have a very limited slot or limited times, maybe 2, 3 times to attempt the quiz or an assignment. And within those trials, you must actually pass the assignment. So coupled with every week would have a session just like this one. We are already 29 minutes down the session for today. So every week would have about between 1 hour, 30 minutes to 2 hours of recorded video demos to demo to you what you should have learned. And we are actually strategic in arranging this content for you. This is because um over the weekend, because starting from this week, we'll give you access to the next week's content over the weekend. So over the weekend, we expect that you should do a little bit of study and ensure that you are familiar with it, because between Monday and Tuesday, I think Tuesday specifically, we are going to give you something to attend, something to practice, so that when you come on Wednesdays for these live meetings, you come already loaded with questions. Maybe you've tried something and it's not working, right? Maybe you are trying something and you got stuck at a point. We want you to actually, we are not going to deceive you. It's not as if it's a one-way thing. There's no perfect programmer or programming. So it's not as if the way we are writing it, you just be trying it. When you say, okay, type this thing, you type it, everything will just be working seamlessly. You are going to fall into bugs. You are going to have hard times with your code, because this is exactly the experience when you are working in a real company every day. This is what we experience, right? This is we find bugs, we find problems. In fact, that is why you're a programmer. You're a programmer because those problems need solution, and you are the person who will look for those solutions out. All right. So don't be afraid that, okay, you tried something, it didn't work out, you're feeling bad. It is part of the process, right? And it's normal to feel bad that you couldn't do it, but don't stop because you tried and it didn't work out. As a matter of fact, that's why we'll put practice sessions on Tuesday, so that please and please, over the weekend till Tuesday, try to do the work, put in the work, attempt these trials, attempt the practice, make the mistakes. And then when you have the frustration and all of that, bring some of your questions here and we'll attempt to solve them together. All right. This is not to promise you that everything problem you have, because we are using, for some of us that are active on the channel or have group chat, you see, I asked the question, what operating system we are all using. This because I want us to be in sync, all right? Because I want to know which operating system I should use for demoing, or we should actually arrange when we are doing demo videos, because the set of challenges that I might have when I'm using a Mac system might be different from when I'm using a Windows. All right. So we would sometimes you might come with some challenges, and because we are not using the platform or the operating system, or something is just different from our setup, we might not be able to actually get the full picture, and maybe we try and we do not get to the end of it. That doesn't mean that's it, because we would also dedicate some little time of when we actually come with the discussion, the helplines, and all of that. So we could actually proceed to those channels to actually help you fix your problems. But as some persons who are just beginning basic programming, I doubt if there is any challenge you would have that our senior devs in the house wouldn't be able to handle. All right. So I encourage you, put in the practice on Tuesdays, come with your questions. As you are reading, you find something that is challenging, write it down, bring it here, and ask the questions to us, and somebody would actually attempt to answer your question. All right. So I think basically that's it. At the end of towards the end of your time with us in this basic program, we are going to have a very fun part. And in my opinion, this is the best part of this program. This is because we are going to provide you with real design, that's a Figma design. All right, because when we were learning, some of us were learning, we did not have this kind of opportunity where it is the real working things you use in real companies that you use for your practice. All right. Some of us had maybe PDF designs, and you just have to think of the dimensions, how many pixels this button has to be, how many pixels this has to be, what's the width of this, what's the height of it. But we are going to provide you with a design with all dimensions. So you have all the dimensions, the pixels in place. So and you will have all of you work together as a group to actually produce this design or this design. You walk through the process of thinking out, okay, how it should be done, because we are not going to explain anything to you. Because before you get to that point, we will have gotten you through this process where you should understand how to actually flesh out some of those details. So you do that yourself and build the solution yourself, thereby getting the real hands-on practice that you need in a real working scenario. So would urge you to keep pushing until you get to that point so that you could actually participate fully in that. All right. So I believe that I've actually cut across a lot of information in this session. I don't know if there are questions that you would like to ask at this point so that we attempt to answer them before we move to demo how you would set up your environment. Questions, please. Yeah, you could ask the question. Sorry, I want to actually power my PC. That's why I'm offing my camera. No questions? All right. Joshua, unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay. Good evening, sir. I don't know. I should say maybe the mode at which we meet, because it's like this Zoom is much more flexible than the Google Meet. It's the Google Meet, it's kind of very much stressful. But this one, like, it's very easy. Like, so I feel maybe we can actually be using this Zoom. I'm just saying. So I don't know, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for that observation, Joshua. Actually, we actually had our students in mind when choosing Google Meet. I don't know if every other person feels more comfortable here, because I'm sure our instructors and senior devs wouldn't mind using Zoom, because a lot of us are already used to almost all the tools. So if everyone likes the platform, probably will continue with the platform. The only holdback we have is if um, we are to stay here, we have a time limit for the time being, because we are working on actually getting an enterprise one where we will have limited time for our meetings. But for the package we currently are on, we have uh, we have 40 minutes. So I would like a raise of hands, or even speak out, if you prefer Zoom over Google Meet, So I know Joshua. Joshua, you can just raise your hand again. Let's know if everybody wants this, then henceforth we just continue with it. So just look at your emojis on this part, and I think it's on reaction. Just click on the reaction and select um, the one that raises hand. All right, so we have two persons raising up their hands. Okay. So in this group, we have 5 persons. Does it mean the other persons want to remain with Google Meet? Yeah, you can drop your hands right now so that I'm sure what we want. If you want us to remain on Google Meet, let me see a raise of hand as well so that I'll know if maybe someone is not hearing me or someone is trying to vote Zoom and is unable. Okay. Briefly, may I know if you can hear me, Joy?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Is caller on this call? Caller, if you're on call, can you hear me? Let me see the caller is not here. Okay, so all right. We would actually consider it again after now, and if we are all more comfortable with Zoom, then we don't actually have an issue with that. Always use Zoom for our communications. One, Zoom is the quality is higher, the sound is better. It's just the time shortage that is actually that's actually the holdback for us. All right. So with that out of the way, I don't know, is there any other question before we move to demo? How are you finding the content? Is it easy to go through? Is it understandable? Is there something you feel, okay, if we had done it, arranged it in this order, then it would have been a lot easier. It would have been a lot easier to actually understand the content.
I think for me, from my own perspective, it's very okay, well organized. It's just something you go through and then play your part. To me, it's okay.
Okay. And thank you, Joshua, for that feedback. John, Joy, any other one? How is it?
No, it's straightforward. Just like you said, it's for you to do your part. It's well explanatory, so it's okay by me too.
Okay, awesome. Joy, do you have the same
It's
experience?
Yeah, it's okay. It's not there's not too much things. It's not jam packed. Like you have to do a lot of things. So I like the way it's being broken down. So it's okay.
Okay, awesome. All right, fine. So it means the order in which it's coming is fine. So for the time being, we've been trying to give you a lot of theoretical, but going forward, the theory might not be this much because okay, maybe at the beginning of a new concept or a new technology would actually come in with theory, but beyond that, what really matters is if you really know your onion, if you practice what you're learning. So uh, we can't say much or too much or overemphasize on practice. You need to practice. You need to practice like okay, my cam. Sorry, I totally forgot that. My cam was off. So we cannot overemphasize the place of practice. So we'll do more to see that the content comes with a lot of practice sessions. All right, so practice, 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 practice. Um, it's a bit hard, but with practice, you discover that it's a lot easier than a lot of people say it is. So we are going to be here all the way to help you become better than some of us are currently. We want you to actually get there. We want you to land that dream job of yours. We want you to start that company of yours. We want you to build the app of your dream. So in order to do that, you really need to practice. You need to understand how all of these technologies fit together to creating an application, which is the whole purpose or the whole vision behind TechVerse Academy. So with that said or that out of the way, I would need to send another link because I told us that this Zoom, the only holdback we have on it is it's time constraint. It's just 40 minutes long per meeting. So would might need for a meet like this, if we are using Zoom, we might need to use two 2 to 3 links, join 3 times. Whereas if we are using Google Meet and we need to meet over the space of 2 hours, it's just 2 links. And because that one is also limited to 1 hour, while this one is limited to 40 minutes. So whichever way, if this is clearer, we can actually join those 3 meetings. I mean, it's like staying in a single meeting, it's just the interruption that is funky. All right. So I'll send the link in a moment to our WhatsApp group. So even while this one goes off rather, please click on that link and join. And immediately all of us join, I'm going to kick off the demo. Don't delay so that we have ample time to actually demo before the meeting goes off, to demo the installations and everything. And then afterwards, would also go into a little of HTML and then adding CSS to it. All right, so all of this is going to be recorded and actually added to a place where you can access them. We'll give you the links to it. So you can rewatch them if you need to while you are doing your setup and get yourself ready for the fun. All right, so quickly I'm going to end the call and send us the new link. All right, see you.